This is Kalinosi Victor Mutale from Zambia. I'm a visual artist. I do simple drawings in simple form, and these drawings I call it carry drawings. It's not something I've seen with my eyes or copied it somewhere. It's something which is created by the brain, and I call it's an international language. And each drawing, it carries a title, and the title, it's the concept behind the drawings. No, it doesn't change the direction of the piece, the way I work. I like just to work in my drawings. It's what I can say, it's something which is created by the brain, and then I follow what the brain is telling me to do. The material doesn't dictate the direction of what I'm supposed to do. I listen to what the brain is saying. So what the brain is putting on the surface, on the space, is what I follow. Of course, there are some cases where I'm working on I want to use a certain material to express myself or what the brain has created. And then I find that it's very difficult for me to do this. I don't allow the material to direct me the way I'm supposed to do things. I follow the brain, what it's trying to do. I give the brain the chance to create what it's supposed to do by itself. And then that is what I put on the paper, or what on the surface or in the space. I like drawing sometimes on the wall. I can do a drawing on the human body. I can do a drawing on paper, on canvas, on the floor, on the glass, and then it's just the creation which is coming from. Sometimes there are material, I can come up with an idea, or the brain can come up with an idea of doing a drawing. I come up with a concept, like I said. Each drawing carries a title, and the title, it's the concept. And then it doesn't matter which material I'm using. It's just I use something which is around me. I can use any material. And then if I find that it's very difficult for me to express myself using a certain material, I pause, and then maybe I have to go to the drawing board, like if it's trying to direct me in another direction, just to see the best way of using it so that it follows what the brain is trying to create. Sometimes I try to do what other artists do. They do sketching. They take a sketchbook, they sketch before they translate the work to the final piece. And then I find myself, if I do that, the work will change, because it's a creation from the brain. So if I do the drawing in a sketchbook, and then I try to transfer it on the canvas or any surface or a space, I find that it has changed. And then that way, I find that it's very difficult for me to start controlling the brain which has created the work. It's not me creating the work, it's the brain. And then me, I have just to follow what the brain has created. So I go back, like my decision I always make, like I shouldn't be sketching before I do the final work. I'd rather do the drawing right and there, without looking into the sketchbook, because if I do that, it changes and then it's a different thing. So I make sure that I keep in control what the brain is trying to do. I don't get dictated by the material or what has come up when I'm trying to make a drawing. So I always stick to what the brain is creating. When I'm working in the studio, I always find it difficult to rely mostly on sketches. Like, there are people sometimes that they will advise me, why don't you take sketches before you do the actual work? I find it difficult that way. I would rather do the drawing direct on the space, on the surface I would love to work on. It could be on the wall, it could be on the floor, it could be on canvas, it could be on the paper. And then I find I always make this decision, like I shouldn't be relying much on the sketchbooks. And it's the things which is invisible. These forms are invisible when they are in the brain. And then me, I have just to make them visible by putting them on a certain surface or a space. And then I don't usually follow what I've seen or what I hear. I'd rather stick to what the brain has created. That is how I work with my drawings. When I'm doing my drawings, I do it right there and then I don't go back to it and question like, why did I do a thing like this? Why did I draw a painting or a drawing like this? Once the brain has created the drawing, it's done, and then it doesn't involve, I have not to go back to it and then try to change or say that no, it is not clear or it's not supposed to be like this. Once the brain has created the drawing, it's done. It's okay for me. If people are looking at it or the viewers, they are looking at it that this is rubbish or what, it's up to them. If they find it makes sense or it doesn't make sense, it's up to the viewers to tell. But once the brain has created the drawing, it's a creation which comes deep down in my brain. And then I have just to follow what the brain is trying to do. I just come up with maybe with the concept. I will look at, maybe this is the topic I would love to talk about. That is the title. And that is the concept behind the drawing. And then I leave it up, everything for the brain to create. How do I express myself to this? The brain, I'll let the brain to control the hands. I'll just go on the surface and then I'll do the drawing. This is what I'm trying to, it's a language. I call it international language. It has nothing to do with where I come from, my culture. It is a new script. It's more like a script. And then we are creating this script. Is it me creating this script? No, it's the brain. I've just got the concept. I don't go back to the drawing after I do it and then look at it and then I say, no, it's not supposed to be like this. It was supposed to be like that and this. I don't do that. I respect what the brain has done, what has created, and I stick to that. There are times when I'm making a drawing and then I let the brain control my hand, do the drawing. Of course, I have talked about the concept. This is the concept I have. And then when I'm working, I find that I'm happy with, or I'm satisfied with this drawing. And all of a sudden, I find that my hand touches on the surface, make another, which was not intention. Sometimes I feel like this is a mistake. I was not supposed to do this. Again, I control myself like, no, I shouldn't be controlling the brain. It's the brain which controls the hand to do that. I just continue, and that becomes part of the drawing. I have not to say this was a mistake. A mistake, it's a creation by the brain itself. Yeah, ARAK Collection, it's a very impressive. When I came here, it's more like a lab. a research center where people can come to research and have these ideas I've seen around ARAK. You know, as an artist, I feel like we are scientists. People who create, to come up with new things. And then, as an artist, when you come at ARAK and then you see what artists have created, somehow it will try to change your way of thinking. And then you're thinking maybe you need to do more. And then you come up with a lot of ideas after seeing all this creation which is at ARAK. It is very impressive and very, what I can say, inspiring. Yeah, I get inspired by what I've seen already at ARAK. It's a place where artists are supposed to come and do research, study, make research, investigation. Because there's a lot of ideas when you look at all these art pieces which are done by different artists across the continent. And the artists I never knew about, I've not known about them, I've come to know about them just here. I come from Africa, and then when you look at Africa, somehow art is not that appreciated. So even in the continent, artists, we don't know each other. But when I came here, I know a lot of artists now. Like in Botswana, there's an artist who do this. In South Africa, there's an artist who do that and that. It's very impressive, and I'm happy to be here. I'm glad I came for a short residence. It's a great opportunity for me.